Bro, I get it. REITs, residential houses, commercial buildings. Come on, what else can a REIT offer me? Welcome back, everyone. My name is Brian, the Real Bearded Businessman. Appreciate you checking out the channel if you're a first timer, and I appreciate the return watch here if you're a subscriber of the channel. So regardless, thank you. Glad to have you here, and let's continue this conversation about REITs. So one of the big things that I am personally pretty guilty of is kind of getting bored and with some of the same stale investments and stale things. Sometimes I find myself going, I need a little bit of, maybe not drama, but a little bit of variety and stuff like that. So thinking along those lines, if you're anything like me, I wanted to throw this video here together for you. And you know what, honestly, without further ado, let's start getting into some different REITs that you probably didn't even know even existed. So if you're an energy investor, I got a REIT here for you guys, dealing with the infrastructure for that energy. We're talking pipelines, we're talking transfer stations, we're talking transmission lines, and a lot of times it's the real estate underneath it, around it, well, no above it, but that's what this REIT is dealing with, right? So the REIT itself is called Core Energy, CORENERGY, and this was pretty interesting and not one that I necessarily immediately jumped to, but once I started doing some research, I kind of like it. So again, this is all about infrastructure and not necessarily the energy itself. Now, I'm sure some of you guys out there are investing in the cell carriers. I'm sure some of you are buying Verizon or AT&T stock, or even, hey, Sprint and T-Mobile, they're getting ready here to do something big. I think we're still waiting on the final decision, but it's looking pretty good, right? So you're investing in those things and you're like, wow, how do I kind of maximize my opportunities there, right? So I got one here for you that is actually investing in the, as they call it, the vertical real estate, or really the cell towers in the ground that the cell towers sit on. We got one here called Crown Castle, right? Here's one for you guys that you may or may not know about. Some people think it's a little controversial. It depends on your perspective, but we can argue that at a later day and time. This one is the Innovative Industrial Properties REIT. So for any of you out there that are looking for getting involved in a lot of these pot stocks or these marijuana stocks, the Innovative Industrial Properties, they get involved in that. Specifically, though, they've had a huge bump here in activity because of the CBD industry, and the CBD industry really taking off. So that's in all kinds of stuff for creams and pills and stuff like that are supposedly safe alternatives to some of the other pharmaceuticals out there. So that's kind of where they've gotten a lot of their activity from, and I know that they've really made sure that was a huge shift. So why is it kind of as controversial as it is because even though like CBD and stuff is 50 state legal, it's still kind of tough for a lot of these companies to get funding from banks and loans and things like that, just because of the nature of the business. And again, you could call it whatever you want. You could be against it, you could be for it, but doesn't change the fact that this industry exists. And so where they need to make new facilities and they need to raise capital to make these CBD companies viable, there's not a whole lot of options out there for them. That's why Innovative Industrial Properties exists. They help them out by funding them, leasing them property, things like that. So that's a pretty good alternative. One of the other ones that I think is really pretty prevalent right now in like 2020, when you got the flu going pretty strong, especially in the wintertime here, and you've got the coronavirus going on like crazy. This one is called Omega Healthcare, and this REIT does nothing but healthcare stuff, right? So one of the other things too about the healthcare industry is I think it's going to be something that's really going to be worth keeping my eye on, because I think it's going to grow, because a lot of, believe it or not, we're going to have a big influx here of baby boomers retiring. And as we all know, as we start aging, we're going to need to be more reliant on the healthcare industry to prolong things and make us better. So from that standpoint alone, there's about to be a lot of customers in the healthcare industry. Let me guess, you guys out there probably love taking vacations and probably wish you could take more, right? Yeah, because so do I, right? No, nobody hates going on vacation. So this REIT is actually pretty interesting because they get into nothing but resorts and resort type locations. This one is the Ryman Hospitality REIT, and like I said, it's hotels, it's destination properties, it's resorts, things like that, and that's what they mainly invest in. So hey, if you're looking to have some vacation time and put your feet up, you might as well at least get paid while you're doing it, right? So for the last one, guys, here, this is probably going to be the most real estate REIT that I think I'm going to talk about in this video here. It's called Safehold. Their specialization is ground leasing. So essentially what they do is if I have a business or a building and I purchase the property, I purchase the building, essentially what they do is they come in and they'll buy the property from underneath you, essentially, and then they go and they lease that property back to you for that building and stuff. Now you're probably asking, why as a business owner would you do that? And the reason is some businesses find this to be a viable alternative to taking out a loan or doing some sort of business loan when they want to raise capital. So this could be a great alternative for a business to raise capital. That's it for today, guys. I really hope you appreciated the video. Really hope you found another alternative and another, not just the same old REIT here. I hope you guys are having fun. And like always, guys, I'll catch you on the next video. Love the journey. Love the process. Good luck.